president could be burning his bridges to business right now. Todd, you own a business. Let me ask you this first here. Do you think that this president has become anti-business? Because remember, when he first took office, lots of CEOs were showing up at the White House. It seems to have changed over the last few months.
No question, Cheryl, because here's the thing. You talk about the inflammatory rhetoric that's coming out of the White House right now. It clearly cuts into confidence as well as sentiment. He has been completely anti-business. And the fact that the Chamber of Commerce is even coming out, and this is even being debated right now in mainstream media of all places, is because he is so anti-business. The Chamber of Commerce is looking to take care of its own members, and that means trying to get jobs created as well as get business growing again in this country.
Erica, even John Chambers, the head of Cisco, came out a few weeks ago and said that he feels that the environment right now overall is just anti-business. He doesn't want to hire. He's worried about expansion because he doesn't know what the environment will be next year.
Well, I mean, Todd's right on one point, which is that the chamber is looking out for its members. And the chamber members are largely multinational corporations who care a whole lot about their profits and very little about the people who work for them. So if you look at a company like BP, for example, they had 760 safety violations before the rig blew up and spilled oil all over the east coast of our country, spoiling the livelihoods of lots of people and actually killing 11 people. So I guarantee if you go back in time and ask the chamber, what do you think about these, safety things that we need you to do to make sure that this relationship between business and regular people works effectively, they would say, oh, those safety things, way too much for us to handle. It's going to cut into our bottom line, blah, blah, blah.
Erica,
and so it's just the chamber carrying the
like
water.
That. I just want to be clear, the chamber has never made any kind of comment like that whatsoever.
Let's go back and look at what the chamber has done. Let's go back and look at what the chamber has done in terms of trying to cut out normal, sensible regulations that help make workers safe on the job.
Completely not.
Give me an example then.
Okay, so here is a memo that Lewis Powell, who was a Supreme Court judge, wrote in 1971. He wrote it to the head of the chamber. And what he said to the people in the chamber is that they were under attack and that multinational big corporations were under attack. And they needed to go out and have a multi-pronged strategy to fight back. And what you've seen over the last 30, 40 years since this memo was written is that over time, they have pushed back, deregulated and deregulated until they're finally putting really normal, hardworking Americans at risk. 11 people are dead because of BP.
Erica,
Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been cost.
Right now, okay?
Why should we get away from the BP cost? Do you think, should we or should we not regulate?
96% of the members of the Chamber of Commerce actually happen to be small business owners. These are
who drives the agenda of the Chamber of Commerce, Todd?
Erica,
who do you think drives the agenda of the...
Something about 1971. I think that was the last time the Pittsburgh Pirates won the World Series, and you want to talk about it.
I'm
telling
you,
let's talk about what's happening today.
What I think is really important, Todd,
Erica, hear
what
me
the
out
White
for a
House
second
has done
here.
is tried to draw attention finally to an enormous...
Anybody with half a sense of business acumen would understand that they have to be a true leader that's out there. They have to go out and have to restore the sentiment. You don't have that right now. We had Obamacare thrown down our throats. We don't even know what's going to happen for planning for 2011.
Todd, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen for planning. Let me tell you exactly what's going to happen for planning. If you have a kid who is 26 years old, you can put him on your health care. If you have a kid who has asthma, you can have him on your medical insurance, and insurance companies can't kick you off. Here's another thing that's going to happen. Todd, be quiet and let me finish. Another thing that's going to happen is you're going to not have a lifetime cap that kicks you off as soon as you get sick. Those are some of the things that are going to happen for the American people. I'll tell you what's not going to happen for businesses is they're not going to be able to run roughshod over people and blow 11 people up because they can't even follow some very basic safety regulations. Here's another thing that's going to happen, Todd. 2 people running for Senate this year want to cut minimum wage, eliminate it completely, eliminate federal minimum wage. What do you think about that idea, Todd? Do you think that's a good idea? My guess is it's good for business. I'm not sure it's good for the 2.2 million women who rely on minimum wage jobs to feed their family.
The reason why minimum wage has to be cut, though, Erica, is because of the policies placed by the administration right now. Because you are increasing labor costs. And when you increase unit labor costs, and therefore the business owner cannot go out and hire new people, or the business owner has to go out and actually has to raise his or her own prices, and therefore we have what is called inflation. Look, you have a president, hear me out for a second.
on this point. I just want to clarify this, Todd. So you want to cut minimum wage.
Hear me out.
What do you want to cut it to?
Erica, I need you to
let's give and take here.
Erica,
Come on, give me a chance here. When the president came out on Friday, when the jobs report, he was in, I think, in Bladensburg, Maryland. He was at a factory there, and here he's talking, and he sounded so passive, and he was beat up, and he was down, and just really sounded bad. Then he shows up at Philadelphia 48 hours later, and he's a great campaigner. He's talking about Chamber of Commerce and people paying for ads and all this other stuff. This guy is passionate about campaigning. He's not passionate about being a leader, and that's what we need here in this country for business growth, economic growth, and job hiring.
Erica, hold on a second. Let me pose one question here. I am still the anchor of the show, Erica. Let me ask you this question. This president has had some good relationships with some big names in the business community. I'm thinking about Amazon and Jeff Bezos. They actually left the chamber. Erica left the chamber because they felt the chamber was going in the wrong direction. But the president himself has not. He has had, in particular in the healthcare industry, several CEOs have actually initially were with the president, have gone against the president. Do you think that trend continues as we go forward?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Cheryl. I mean, you have seen over the last year or so several companies that historically had been involved in the chamber really say to themselves, this group is not forwarding values that I believe in. And so when Todd says, you know, let's lower the minimum wage, I think we should ask the chamber what they want to do about minimum wage. I guarantee they agree with Todd and they want to lower minimum wage. So what I want to ask Todd is, what should we lower it to? Should we lower it to $2 an hour? Maybe we should lower it to what it is in China. And what are we going to do about people trying to feed their families on $2 an hour in the country? Todd, what do you think we should lower it to?
I have an answer for you there, Erica, and I don't have an actual dollar figure for you right now.
You can't put a dollar figure on
I don't think it's right to tell a business owner what they need to do, how they should pay their employees. Plus, you don't dictate how much the price of goods and services are in this country.
So you would say,
leave government out of it.
Todd,
look, the whole reason why we're even having this discussion is because of the argument for the Chamber of Commerce.
Maybe $1 an hour. Come work for Todd, you can make $1 an hour.
Yeah,
Does
I
that
like
work
that
for
idea.
You? Okay,
oh,
that's
hurry,
great.
Erica.
Just so that people who vote understand that two people running for Senate as Tea Party Republicans want to eliminate the federal minimum wage. There are 16 states in this country whose state minimum wage is lower than the federal minimum wage, which means immediately when this law is repealed,
Erica, you
will
are
have
spinning
16
this.
states.
You are great at spinning. You are the spin machine.
What is the spin
great.
machine
Can I
about
just
two
step in
Senate
and say
candidates
you're both
saying that they
great?
want to eliminate minimum wage and you wanting to pay people $1
We
an
could
hour?
keep
Where do you want those people
this
to live,
has been
Todd?
a great discussion, both of you. I love having you on the show. Erica Payne, thank you very much. A Ginger Project founder, Todd Schoenberger, managing director at Lencolt Trading, is actually going to stay with me for the rest of the show. We're going to take a break, guys. When we come back,